All right, I'd like to welcome back on the channel Joe Manniello. He's Newsday's NFL's pick columnist. Joe, how are you doing today?
Doing good, Matt. How are you?
Doing pretty good. You had yourself a really nice week 10, going 4-1. That brings you up to 27-24. I, on the other hand, have been struggling. I went 1-4. I'm at 24-27. So you have overtaken the lead now going into week 11.
Yes, took 10 weeks, but I finally got there.
I told you don't look too much into my hot starter. It's going to come down eventually.
What was it? Last week we were tied, I guess? I guess we were tied?
Yep.
No, you were up one?
We were tied at 23 apiece, right at 500.
Oh, okay.
So let's start off we'll do the Thursday night game first because no Giants this week. So we'll do Thursday night football. Good matchup. The Cardinals and the Seahawks. The Seahawks are favored by 3. Who do you like in this game?
Yeah, it's a great game, and I'm glad the Giants want to buy. That way we could do 2 games of the week.
Right.
As I wrote in my column that's on Newsday.com right now, will be in tomorrow's paper, or Thursday's paper. My first thought was Seattle because they lost 2 in a row, and I went back and looked, and Russell Wilson has never lost 3 games in a row with Seattle since he joined them in 2012. Like 130-something games. He's never had a 3-game losing streak. And the 7 times before, he had a 2-game losing streak. He's won all 7 of those games, 7-0. He has a great record at home, 8-1 on Thursdays, excellent record in prime time. There's so many reasons to take Seattle, but when you look at what's going on now, I'm taking Arizona +3. I think it's a toss-up game. I think Arizona might win the game. I think it could be a 1-point game. It could be a 2-point game like Arizona at Buffalo was last week or last year when it was the Rams. Seahawks was like a 30-29 kind of game.
Right.
So I think 3 points, normally 3 points doesn't mean much in the NFL, but I think it's a lot. It means a lot in this kind of game. Something's going on with Seattle. The defense is awful.
Right.
They give up by far the most yards per game, the most passing yards per game. And Arizona beat them in week 7, 37-34. Come back win on Sunday night in overtime. So I think this will be a great game. But something's going on with Seattle. Russell Wilson, he has, since starting that week against Arizona, 7 picks and 3 lost fumbles the last 3 weeks. Leads the league with 10 giveaways since week 7. So I'm not sure. He was almost running away with the MVP. A month and a half into the season. Now I think Kyler Murray has even passed him in the MVP race.
Agree.
So with Mahomes and Rodgers ahead of both of them, but I just think that Arizona might win this game. There's a lot on the line. They're both 6-3, tied with the Rams for a 3-way tie, top of the NFC West. So I'm not going to take Seattle just because the history says so. Like as I wrote last week too, with the whole take the home team on Thursday night, it doesn't really mean much in 2020. So I'm going with Arizona. I think they might win the game. So +3 feels like a lot.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm taking the Cardinals also. I think they win this game outright. I expect it to be a really good game, but as you were saying, Seattle's defense has been downright awful. They give up a ton of points each and every week, and I love the Cardinals' offense. Kyler Murray was my pick for MVP before the season, and I think,
me too.
yeah, there you go. Right now, I'd say probably Pat Mahomes is the favorite, but I wouldn't put Murray too far behind him there at the top.
And Rodgers, yeah.
And Rodgers, true, good point. But with the Cardinals, I really like what they've been doing on offense. Obviously, huge win last week against Buffalo, that miraculous play at the end of the game. DeAndre Hopkins has been an absolute steal for them. So I think this offense puts up a ton of points. And I know Seattle, they can score too, but just with that defense, that's a huge question mark to me. So I think it gives the Cardinals a slight edge here. So I'm with you. I'm going to take the Cardinals on Thursday night.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Everyone seems to be taking Seattle, so
yeah,
maybe we're on to something.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the other New York team, the New York Jets. They are going on the road to the Chargers. The Chargers are favored by 9.5. Who do you like in this game?
All right, we got some big news here. Sound the alarms. First week since week 1, I'm taking the Jets.
Wow. Okay.
Not only am I taking them, they're one of my best bets of the week. I love the Jets this week. 9.5 against the Chargers, a team that, when it plays its best game, still somehow either loses or wins by a field goal. So I don't have any faith in the Chargers. They're 2-7. Even when they beat the Jaguars a few weeks back, they're my lock of the week. They won that game by 10, but that was the game they almost lost, and they got lucky because Keenan Cole fumbled, I think, on a kickoff return, and they scored a quick touchdown. They were down in that game late, and I think in the late third quarter. They're just not I don't know what's going on with Chargers. I guess it's coaching, Herbert's played great. Justin Herbert, rookie quarterback.
Yep.
And the Jets are off a bye. They play, actually, the week before the bye, they played their best game. They should have beaten New England. I don't really have a lot of faith in Joe Flacco, but 9.5 points is just way too many against the Chargers. I think the Chargers will win. I think 0-16 is still alive. but I think it's a 4-7 point win, maybe like 27-23. I don't think it's a blowout. Chargers don't blow anybody out. They just don't do it, and they've always been this way with Phillip Rivers all those years. I mean, not all those years. Early on with Tomlinson, they were great, but the last few years they always play down to their competition. And I think the Jets off a bye and the way they played last 2 weeks ago against the Pats, I think that will carry over here. I think they, they're 0-9. They don't, who wants to be 0-10? I know people believe in the tank, but the players do not want to tank. The players do not want to go 0-16. That's the biggest, I don't know if the word is misnomer or myth. The biggest myth, and people say, oh yeah, the Jets. These guys are playing for contracts. They're playing for pride. They want to win a game, but most of them aren't going to be here next year. So what do they care if the Jets get the first pick or the second pick? They do not care at all. Like, I'm sure the GM and the owner, they'll never admit it, but I'm sure they want to go 0-16 or 1-15. Whatever it takes to get that first pick, they want to do. But the players do not care about that at all. They want to win, and I think the Jets. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if the Jets win this game, which is just how down I am on the Chargers. So 9.5 points. I mean, I think it's a steal.
I hate betting both of these teams, the Chargers and the Jets. I don't have confidence in either team, really. I'm going with the Chargers, though, and I'll tell you why. Because I really think the Jets secondary, even with, like, Pierre Desir was terrible. They cut him this week, and they're going to be playing a rookie in Bryce Hall and a second-year guy in Bless Austin on the other side. Both, I think, are going to struggle in coverage. And Herbert, I think, is going to pick apart the secondary. I think they're going to put up a lot of points, and I think Flacco takes a big step back. Everyone, saw his performance, and rightfully so, gave him a lot of credit for what he did against the Patriots. That was the best quarterbacked game of the season by far for the Jets. I don't think the offense comes anywhere close to replicating that. Going on the road to the West Coast, the Jets never play well on the West Coast. I think the Chargers win this one by 2 touchdowns. Okay. I think we're looking at like a 24-10 game, maybe, something like that.
Gotcha.
All right, so we're going to differ there, but let's get to the game of the week, Chiefs and the Raiders. The Chiefs are favored by 7.5. How about this game?
Is it 7.5? I thought it was down to 6.5. Are you sure?
I will recheck that right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kansas City here. Lots of reasons to like Kansas City. I'll list them off here. First off, a bye. Andy Reid, 18-3. We get their bye all time in the regular season as a coach. So that's one of his big things on his resume. It's always a good thing to back him. Another reason is the Kansas City is 8-1. And that one loss is against the Raiders, who outplayed them and stunned them in Arrowhead in Week 5, I think it was, 40-32. So I think they got the whole payback angle. They'll be up for this game, off a bye, totally prepared. Sunday Night Football. I don't think it's hard to outplay Patrick Mahomes once. I don't think Derek Carr's going to do it twice. And plus, the Raiders have all these issues with COVID. Mm-hmm. I just saw a tweet before that the whole defense is basically being isolated. I don't know what's going on with that. So they had their issues with the offensive line with COVID. I mean, I like the Raiders. I think they're like a possible wild card team, or one of the last seeds in there. Maybe win a game in the playoffs. But they're not. Even though they beat the Chiefs, it's easy to say, oh, they beat them. Like they proved they can hang with them. But that's one game. I don't think if they play 10 times they win. I think they win maybe 3 times. So I think this is a big statement for the Chiefs. And plus, they're 8-1. The Steelers will probably be 10-0, and they're playing the Jaguars. So they want to stay with that race to possibly get the 1 seed. So I like the Chiefs for so many reasons here. I think they win this game by, I don't think it would be a blowout. I mean, they beat them last year 40-9. But I think like a 34-24 kind of game. I like Mahomes to have a big game. So about 10 points.
Okay. I just double-checked on pregame. It opened at 7 and moved to 7.5 right as of now.
7.5? Okay.
Yeah. I'm with you, though. I really like the Chiefs. They're one of my best bets this week. For a lot of the reasons you said, that Andy Reid off a bye is tremendous, so that's something you have to take into account. And also, when the Raiders came to Kansas City and won that game, it was a huge upset. And after they did that victory lap on the bus, and I think that's going to be a little motivation for the Chiefs. They're going to want to stick it to the Raiders a little bit. I think a rivalry is brewing. I know they play in the same division, they're rivals, but I think that's being reborn after the Raiders have been bad for so long. So I think the Chiefs put up a ton of points this week. Playing in Vegas, and I think they win this game by 10 to 14 points. It should be a pretty good game. I think it'll be high scoring, but here in the end, I like Kansas City a lot this week, so I'm with you in the game of the week.
I just heard about that last night. I couldn't believe they did that with the buses. Not too smart.
No, you don't want to wake that beast. Absolutely not. How about a best bet this week? Who do you really like?
All right. Well, I like Kansas City a lot, like you said. They're one of my best bets. But for another best bet, I'm going to go with the team that's turned the season around the last 2 weeks. The New England Patriots. They were 2-5, staring at 2-6 against the Jets. They won that game. Then they had a win that really surprised me last week against Baltimore. I mean, I don't know if that was more about the weather or just the perfect game plan. Baltimore can't win in New England during the regular season. But so now they're 4-5. They're not going to win the division with the way with the Bills and the Dolphins playing. So I don't think, but they might get into the wild card mix. So I like the Patriots a lot. I think they're only given 1 point at Houston. I mean, Deshaun Watson's great, but the Texans, people have to remember that they're 2-7. They're 2-0 against the Jaguars, 0-7 against everybody else. I think this is a huge game for the Patriots to get back to 500. I think Belichick outcoaches old buddy Romeo Crennel. I just don't see the Texans defense as one of the worst defenses. I don't see them stopping Cam Newton or any of the Patriots running backs. So I like the Pats. I don't think it'll be a blowout because it's the NFL. It's on the road. But, like a 24-17 kind of game that doesn't even feel that close. So I like the Pats, basically a pick 'em. Was it -1?
Yeah, -1.
Yeah, I love the Pats. They're the best bet of the week.
I agree with you. I think that's a really good game. I'm going to go a different direction, though, and I'm going to go with the Dolphins. We've been rolling hard on them. Dolphins -3 over the Broncos. I know that Tua's going on the road here to play in Denver, but I don't think it's going to really matter too much. And something I look at with the quarterback matchup, Drew Lock's been turning the football over a lot, and the Dolphins have been able to capitalize on those turnovers this year. They put up a lot of points, and they're surprising a lot of people. I think this Dolphins team, I don't think anyone expected them to be this good this quick. That 3 number seems a little too small for me. I think the Dolphins win this game by at least a touchdown, even though they're going on the road. I think this is a easy win for Miami here.
Yeah, I agree. I think Drew Lock might even be hurt. I'm not sure if he's even playing.
Oh, yeah, good point. Good point on that one.
I like Miami. I'm just afraid because it's on the road, Denver with the elevation. I'm taking Miami too in the paper, but I'm not as confident as I have been the last few weeks. It's only because it's the NFL. Just seems like such an obvious pick. You get nervous.
Absolutely, I get that. How about an upset? Who's someone you think gets an upset?
Yeah, there's not a ton of underdogs I like this week, but I'm gonna go with a team who I usually try to stay away from because they've been so bad to me. But I'm gonna take the Falcons off a bye at New Orleans. I think they're getting 4.5, 5 points.
They are getting 4.5. Yeah, 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5. Jameis Winston's going to be starting. Falcons are 3-1 under Raheem Morris, interim coach, former Hofstra guy. They played really well. I don't think they're a contender. Obviously, they're 3-6, but they're off a bye. Last year in a similar spot, they were 1-7 off a bye, and they crushed New Orleans on the road with Drew Brees. I guess the Saints weren't expecting much, but I was shocked by that game. But I just think this will be a close game. You can't expect the Saints to be, firing on all cylinders with Jameis Winston. I mean, he's a good backup. He's a starter last year, but throws a lot of picks, and
right.
He didn't look that great. He didn't look that great last week in the pocket, getting sacked a lot of times. So I think the Falcons will hang in this game. I'm sure the Saints will win. They won 6 in a row. They're 7-2. I'm sure they'll win like a 3-point game or even 4. And if they win by 7, so be it. But I just think 4.5 is a lot. I think the Falcons off a bye turn their season around a little bit, playing much better under Raheem Morris. I think they keep this close, and I wouldn't even be shocked if they win because no Drew Brees. But I think the Saints will find a way, but it'll be close. Go Falcons.
Okay, I like that pick. I'm gonna go with the Rams +4 over the Bucks. For me, I really like what the Rams have done this year. I think that they've bounced back nicely after a down year last year. And as for the Bucks, I really can't get a grip on them. Sometimes I feel like, going in that for sure that they were going to look good, like against New Orleans, they come out and laid an egg. And then I thought against the Panthers, maybe that, the Panthers will play them close, and they did for a while, and then they pulled away. But I think there's a tough matchup for them. I think the Rams are going to be able to put up a lot of points, and I think it's a closer game. So I'm going to take the Rams +4.
Gotcha.
All right, so let's just run through these real quick. Both Joe and I are on the Cardinals +3 in Thursday Night Football. As for the Jets and the Chargers, I'm going with the Chargers -9. Joe is on the Jets +9.5. Game of the week, we have the Chiefs and the Raiders. Joe and I are both on the Chiefs -7.5. My best bet is Dolphins -3 over the Broncos. Joe's on the Pats -1 over Houston. For an upset pick, I'm going with the Rams +4 over the Bucks. Joe is going to go with the Falcons +4.5 over the Saints. Those are our picks for Week 11. Thank you so much for coming on as always, Joe. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, Matt. Thanks so much.